Hello. For my inquiry-based learning, I have decided to look at Britannica School. For context, this presentation will be for a grade 7 class. Now, we are looking at the learning levels here. We have elementary students, which you are looking at things like look for people, places, and things, watch and learn with videos and animations, have fun with games and activities. Middle school, find fast answers and homework help, explore videos and articles on famous people and places, discover maps and photos illustrated for school projects. And high school, which is get quick facts, in-depth information on a wide variety of subjects, start research projects with multiple resources in one place. I'm going to get rid of this one. And find multimedia to use in projects and presentations. I am going to enter through the level of middle school. Now, in this one, I'm going to look at the column on the right, and I'm going to go down to Canada in Focus. And now in Canada in Focus, I'm going to pick the Geography tab. And within the Geography tab, I'm going to go to the third article down, which is Arctic Ocean. Now, with this one, you can see that we have 4 tabs across the top: article, images and videos, related, and teachers. But the first one we're going to look at here is the article. Now, the way this is set up within the Britannica schools is that it is great for a number of reasons. It is great for scaffolding because you really have here is you have different reading levels. So if we look at reading level number 1, you're going to have less text for the students to read. You may have an opportunity for them to start to gain some knowledge about the information. You may have some students who already have some background information about this. So you would move on with those students. You could allow them to move on to level 2, where they would get more text. There would be more understanding. There would be more comprehension needed for that text. And as it said, scaffolding for you could start to move towards level 3. And you would have, again, more amount of text for the students to read, more in-depth information. You would have more terminology for them to understand. They may come across some terms that they may need to look up to find what the term means or understand from the context within the article. The other thing that I would like to look at is you do have some features over here. You have some features where it gives you the opportunity to listen to the article. So it will play the article back for the students. So that's a great opportunity, again, if you have students that are on an accommodated program where they need the text to speech so they can have it played back to them. You've got it built right in to the Britannica schools. The other thing to feature here is you also have the opportunity to cite material. So students can cite where they've got their information from. So if they're starting to learn to keep track of that, they want to keep a record of that, they want to have a bibliography within the project, you've got all that information there. It's easy for them to see when they access that. Now we're going to go back to level 2. Now we talked about the tabs at the beginning. So we had the article, we had the image and videos. So again, for your audio learners and your visual learners, if you have an opportunity for them to look at some of the images or some of the videos, they may be able to gain a greater insight in the context of the material. You also have some of the related topics to that students could explore a little bit. And you have the teacher feature here. Now, within the teacher feature, you can start to look at the curriculum standards, and we can pick Canada standards. Now, within Canada standards, I'm going to pick Ontario standards. I'm going to pick my subject area of social studies because we had talked about a grade 7 class, and I'm going to pick grade 7. So we have Canada Standards, Ontario Social Studies, grade 7, and we're going to view those results. So now we can see what are the curriculum correlations to the topic Arctic Ocean and how they relate specifically to the curriculum for geography for grade 7 students. Now, part of this assignment was that we were also supposed to look at the output for this. There are some features in here within the Britannica schools where you can get a link through to some lessons. So this link through the lesson links through to EduPlace, which gives you a lesson tied into this, so you could see whether or not to use this. I wouldn't necessarily use this as my output, but it is something to review and look over. So it's a nice option to have. So let's go back to the Britannica. So we have all this information here. Now, as I mentioned, we are looking at inquiry based, and we're looking at our output, but we really want to think of some of those inquiry based questions that we would be looking at. Perhaps it might be, what do we know about the Arctic Ocean? What has been the impact of global warming on the Arctic? What I would have students do related to this is look at producing a podcast. Now, I looked at a program called Soundtrap. And Soundtrap is something that students can sign up with their Google or the Microsoft account. And as you can see, if you look at a template, it has a podcast template, which allows students to play around with a prearranged podcast project. And what I would look for output is that I would have students working in partners. I would have one student who would be the interviewer and the other student who would be an expert. And their expertise would be on the Arctic Ocean. So now you have a student who can ask those questions, those inquiry-based questions to their partner, and that partner can begin to answer those questions that they are being asked. So it's a great opportunity for the students to produce a different type of output for an inquiry-based project, doing something where they can produce a podcast, learn about all aspects of the podcast. So that's just really something that I would think about for this type of inquiry-based projects for the students. If you are interested in what I did for producing this project, I did use a Chrome extension, which is called Screencastify. So this is what is recording this project for it. And if you use Screencastify, you do have the option to save this video to your drive, and you can upload the video to YouTube. So it gives you a number of different options. So I'm going to look at, maybe I might produce both for an opportunity to see how both look. So I hope that you enjoyed my presentation for the inquiry-based learning. And thanks. Have a great day. Bye.